What's going on, everyone? Dr. Ironbat Prime 2.0, aka Noah, back at again with this new video, and this is my top 10 favorite Superman costumes because, well, for one, this year is, the 85 years of Superman, and I want to do something Superman related, and, well, Superman has one of the most iconic costumes in the world of comics, probably right next to Batman and Spider-Man, of course. But I thought I'd talk about my top 10 favorite Superman costumes because, let's face it, he has had so many different versions over the years. Sure, most of them may be the same here and there, but, well, I just want to talk about my top 10 favorites and which ones are the best in my opinion. But, like I said, my opinion, so this is my list, this is my opinion, so everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but let's kick this list off, starting at number 10, working our way up to number 1, and see which Superman suits are my favorites. Taking the 10th spot on the list is the classic 1940s costume. This is probably one of the first Superman costumes I've ever seen, and not just from that classic 1940s cartoon, but it even made its way into comics as well. I just like how this would be a lot more different than other Superman costumes. It was just classy, colorful, and would kind of sort of be the definition of a prototype suit for Superman. This was like what superheroes were like back in the day. Heck, even Tyler Hoechlin wore his own version of this costume in Superman and Lois. And when I first saw that costume, I was like, oh my god, wow, that is one of the classiest Superman costumes I've ever seen. Hitting the 9th spot on the list is My Adventures with Superman costume. It has a very anime-ish look to it, but there's a reason why this costume made the list. It would resemble and almost look like his suit from, well, past comics for the past decade. I just also like the anime-ish look that it has. Plus, I even like the fact that, well, the logo was a tad bit more different than, well, the normal logo. Plus, I thought it was funny that, well, and cool that Supes was back to wearing trunks on the outside of his costume. Heck, he was voiced by Jack Quaid in this series, who's all around a funny actor. And if you haven't seen this show yet, definitely jump on and watch it. Yeah, I highly recommend watching it if you haven't already. It's actually really good and enjoyable, so definitely give it a watch. Taking the 8th spot on the list is John Kent's suit. When Clark Kent had to leave Earth for, well, space missions and, well, other important things here and there, John Kent had to take over, and he actually became Superman for a short amount of time in the world of comics. So yeah, he donned his own version of his own Superman costume. I just like how this is his own version, his own style. I like how the belt would be different, the logo would be different, and there would be a little more red than your normal standard Superman costume. Even though it's been around for I think it's been around for like a year, maybe 2 years. I don't know, I keep losing track, but y'all can correct me in the comments down below, but I just like the design, and I like how detailed it is, and their normal standard Superman costume. But hey, those are reasons why this costume made the list. Taking the 7th spot is the animated series outfit. Sure, this one may be just normal, standard costume that anyone would think of, but I'm just an overall fan of, the animated series, and also, Bruce Timm and Paul Dini's work on just their own DC animated universe. I like how the blue just looks a lot more darker toned, and I even love the art style and animation by Bruce Timm and Paul Dini. It just makes the costume pop up a bit more, and I even like how it made its way to the Justice League Unlimited cartoon. I mean, just like Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series is just very iconic, so yeah, that's why it made the list. Taking the 6th spot on the list is Superman's suit from the Batman Beyond comics. This is pretty much different than any other suit, obviously, because I'm pretty sure you can see why. I just like how there's no cape, it's black and white, it's in the Batman Beyond universe, and it's very different than what your standard Superman costume would look like. Plus, I'm just a fan of the whole Batman Beyond continuity, and let's just say, this costume, I just like how different it is, and sure, it's just the normal Clark Kent Superman, just has white sides on his hair and new suit. So yeah, yeah, he still looks good for looking like he's, I don't know, 70 or 80. Taking the next spot on the list is Tyler Hoechlin's Superman suit. Now, of course, I'm talking about his first costume from Season 2 of the Supergirl series, and there's the reason why this one made the list. I just like how the logo would pop up a bit more, the cape would be clipped on in a very different way, and same goes for the belt. I like how it's very different as well, but this is just a perfect example of like what Tyler Hoechlin's Superman's first costume is like in the, well, from the second season of Supergirl. And yes, I know Tyler Hoechlin has like a couple other Superman costumes, but this one just happens to be my favorite for, well, for those reasons. And I just like how it turned out. I like how different it is than the other suits. I mean, they're all great, but this one is just my favorite when it comes to Tyler Hoechlin's suits. Taking the fourth spot on the list is Christopher Reeve's Superman's costume. Yes, of course, I had to throw this one on the list for obvious reasons. This costume just looked classy, it looked good. I mean, it just resembles, well, a perfect, well, very light blue, and just a standard, well, Superman look that would happen in 1970s. Plus, it's Christopher Reeve. I mean, the man is an icon, he's a legend. I mean, yeah, sure, I mean, R.I.P. Christopher Reeve, but the man is Superman. Taking the third spot on the list is Henry Cavill's Superman costume. Sure, the DCEU may have its ups and downs with their movies and shows, but this Superman costume, I mean, is just very detailed, it's very good, and I'm pretty sure we could all agree why this suit just had to be in my top 5, of course. Even though it goes through some changes here and there throughout the DCEU, I just like how very detailed it is and how this would be a Superman that would take place around present day. And it just all around looks good. I like the texture, I like how designed it is, and how it's very different than your normal standard classic suit. I mean, sure, it does go through some changes here and there, but I overall love the design. I mean, I like how it's Kryptonian royalty, of how it has some extra details here and there. Like, I mean, check out all the behind-the-scenes stuff when it comes to, well, watching Man of Steel or Batman vs. Superman, and just take a really good look at the costumes. Taking the second spot on the list is the Black Regeneration costume. This is very iconic because this is a suit that most of us would obviously remember from the Reign of Superman comics. It just overall became a fan favorite that everyone knew from, well, the 90s, and I just like how it just became such a popular one and an iconic one. So not only it looks cool, but it has a purpose. It's pretty much a, well, a healing suit that Superman wears just to help him heal fast, and because he just came back from dead from being killed by Doomsday. So yeah, it has a purpose, and well, this again became very iconic. Even Henry Cavill got to wear his own version of this costume. Thank God the Snyder Cut just gave us that suit and not just the normal plain suit, because it matched up, it looked good, and I loved it. And taking the number 1 spot on the list is the New 52 costume. Sure, the New 52 may not be everyone's favorite thing when it comes to the world of DC, but I love and enjoy several things in New 52, and this is pretty much my favorite Superman costume for, well, obvious reasons. I like how it fits in within modern day. I like how it's just looks a lot more folding out, almost like armor, but it just looks like Kryptonian royalty, and that's what I love about it. I mean, Jim Lee just had a very artistic mind, and he did an incredible job just creating the artwork and just giving us this version of a Superman costume. I mean, it's good, and that's why I love it, that's why I enjoy it, and that's pretty much why it's number 1. But before I wrap this list up, I do have a couple of honorable mentions that I'd like to throw in. As for the honorable mentions, those would be the Red Sun Superman suit, the Injustice suit, Kingdom Come Superman, Superman's first suit from 1938, Dean Cain's costume, and last but not least, All-Star Superman suit. And that about wraps up my list. But like I said before, this is just my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own. So let me know what your favorites are, or if you actually agree with me in the comments. But also don't forget, don't forget to follow me on like all my social media stuff. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Twitter. Well, I know it's called X, but I still wish to call it Twitter. But follow me, I just might follow you guys back. And just to continue on wrapping it up, don't forget to subscribe to my channel by hitting subscribe right down there. Hit the comments, hit the bell, hit the thumbs up. It would be very supportive. I would really appreciate it. But till next time, this is Dr. Ironbat Prime 2.0 signing out, and well, I'll see you guys in my next video, of course.